Hello, gentle viewers. This is Guardian, welcoming you back to Out of the Park Baseball 26 with the Colorado Rockies. Big props to Chance Underwood 8943, who was like, "Yeah, I want to see you take it all the way." So, message received. I know we mentioned that in last week's video, but I think it's worth mentioning again. Um, so this is going to be an interesting episode. Because although we did almost win the World Series in the previous season, we also had a lot go wrong. Which means, theoretically, this season could be better. Now, practically speaking, let's not get our expectations up too high. This was the single greatest season in the Colorado Rockies history. We won over 100 games. And Pythagorean records suggest we were a little bit lucky, but we still would have been one of the best teams in the league. I don't know that's necessarily something we can count on every year, but we do have some room for growth. Area of the first. Charlie Condon was actually pretty bad last year. This is probably the single biggest area for growth. If he even returns to 2032, but plays a full season, he's basically back to his old self. So this is one of the things that I would love to see do better this year. So you may be looking at yourself and saying, wait a minute, what's going on here? There's a lot of players here I don't recognize. And I've been following the series for a while. We had a very unfortunate injury in that we lost Naganori Ida for the first 5 days, and Will Levy for the first 3, and Colin Ritchie for the first couple of weeks. All this is to say, we're going to have to paper over some issues until everybody is back and ready to go. Fortunately, barring any sort of setback, injury timelines aren't that ridiculous, but that's like Grady Emerson, for the first time ever, gets to be on the starting opening day roster. Look, I completely acknowledge that Grady Emerson is probably, under any definition, a bust. However, he's only 26, and his skills suggest we might see him hitting like 260, 270. And if he couples that with a little bit of power and excellent defense, he's still got a chance to play meaningful at-bats for us into the future. Rotation is mostly last year's. Barry Keller was a fairly successful reliever. Now he's into the rotation because someone's got to go there. Willie Alvarez is our big ticket new starter. He could be really, really great, or he could suck, and we really don't know. Bullpen is still amazing. It's still very, very good. Although we're spending a lot of money on it now. So that's something we're going to have to monitor as we continue onward. Edwin Brito's our DH. Honestly, this is his last chance. He has yet to be a consistent offensive piece for anything, really, since we acquired him. This is his last chance. And it's probably not going to be a very long one, because I like rookie Carlos Martinez. I think he's got some really good skills we don't presently have. He's a captain. All this combined means it is far more likely that Brito goes when what's his name? Ida comes back, than it is that we get rid of Martinez. Oh, I need to add Robbie Brewer to the 40-man. I knew there's something I forgot. Very interesting move here that I had anticipated last season, but this gives us a ton of depth in the infield. It gives him some major league experience. He's got a chance to be probably not a starting shortstop, but third base is possible, second base is possible. He's also a fairly competent outfielder. He could be really good. And so giving him some limited major league experience until Colin Ritchie is back is only going to make us a stronger team. It's only going to give us a chance to see what he can accomplish and then see what we do with him in the future. Although, to be perfectly honest, he's kind of the perfect utility guy right now. Um, I think Swain, there's a very high probability that he's gone. I know we're not that far removed from him having a useful season, but he's not that great. So we may have to consider that. All right, friends, let's baseball. Are we getting Levy back? I see no reason at all to keep him in the minors for a split second. So the question is, do we keep Keller or do we keep Alvarez? Alvarez has pitched at AAA now for a couple of seasons. I want to see what he can do at the major league level. I think Keller, it's either Keller or it's one of the relievers that goes. I don't have a backup starter right now. That is a consideration. That is a consideration. I don't think it matters. I think we send down Keller and we bring back Levy. That's just what's going to happen here. I cannot keep a literal Cy Young winner on the shelf a second longer than I have to. Pineda, Ozuna. Ozuna just pitched, so it's not going to be Ozuna. I think we're going to let Alvarez start. I think that makes sense. Let's give him his first start of the season, and then Levy will take over. The only Cy Young winner, I believe, in the history of the Colorado Rockies. So to say that he is a crucial part of our success is a definite understatement. All right, let's advance time a little bit farther. Here's Ida back. I guess it could send down Fermin, but Fermin has actually given us production where Brito never has. I'm gonna try to trade him. I mean, I guess I could just release Todd May, but at least Todd May is interesting, whereas Brito is not. He's not even a real burrito, you guys. Um, he just isn't. All right. I'm not saying anything like mind bending, but that's not a realistic thing to ask for anyway. Curtis Ullery, yes. I think this is just a flat out yes. He's a very weird player. I like weird skill sets like this. A guy that's going to club a bunch of doubles and not strike out very much, but also play competent outfield and be a captain. Yes, he could be my Ullery maid. What if you threw in an 80 potential? No, okay. You know what? That's completely fair. That was definitely wasting your time. I think we just take this deal and run with it. It frees up a 40-man spot, but also Brito he just never did anything for us. Right, we need to redo the lineup in a pretty massive way. Okay. Fermin definitely drops. And then I think we just slide in Ida here, but I don't want Ida cleaning up. I don't want him hitting fifth. I want him hitting... Does he have the contact hit third for us? Maybe. Ida definitely goes over Tovar. Like, that's not even a consideration. That's not even a split-second decision there. Oh, huh. Oh, you're DHing, aren't you? Yeah, Martinez and you're actually not a bad defender yourself. You're actually really, really good at left field. Sure. um, Am I fine with Ida hitting 5th? Yeah, that's probably fine. This is probably acceptable. Um, yeah, not worried about it. Okay. Let's play some more baseball. We're getting Colin Ritchie back soon, which is great. I need to make some room, actually. Technically, the roster is limp, but also their seasons haven't started yet, so it's not the end of the world. It'll tell me when I have to make room. Emmer said this is the worst time for you to have gotten injured. Like, you're actually having an okay start to your season, but more importantly, it means that I have to call somebody else up. Because Richie is going to be back eventually, but he's not back yet. I am not bringing up Rodarte. That's just not happening yet. I want him to get a chance to play AAA before I consider trying to figure out a place for him. Brian Holman is a perfectly reasonable third baseman while you're hurt. We could also just give a job to Brewer. But I like the idea of giving it to somebody that's already like a relatively finished product. I could also say Juan Zapata. Oh, he only plays second, and he plays second base pretty poorly. I'm going to trade him real quick and see what I can get prospect-wise, because Zapata's never going to amount to anything. He's second base and can't second base, and his bat isn't good enough for me to hang on to him. Not really. Nobody wants him. That's fair. That's a fair statement. I don't disagree that he's not that special. Mr. Brito, I do want to former Rockies you. Alright, so you gotta get someone that can play third base, or you gotta let Brewer take over, or we just let Swain do it, and just call up any other infielder that's got some skill to him. Could we time to debut Yasukawa? I think because he's going to be back in just a week or two, I think we maybe leave a roster spot open, and we let Swain go ahead and play third base for a couple of weeks. Because I don't want to waste a 40-man spot on a guy that's not going to play all season. We are in dead last, which is a little bit concerning, but it's also so early on into the season that I don't care. Like, not even a little bit. Remember when Issei was like, my boy? Was like, holy fuck, what a guy. Now he's just been toiling away in the minor leagues waiting for his free agent contract to run out. He's done quite well for himself, but I mean, this is a guy that had a prominent role in the team, and now he's just baggage. Do I have a bunch of money that I'm sitting on, perhaps? I don't want to just cut him now. I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to go ahead and release him. You say, my friend, you vastly outperformed your skill level, and I wish you well. I hope you find yourself a worthwhile team and you get a chance to recover a little bit. Bringing me out for a week isn't a biggie for me. It doesn't really bother me at all. Richie back is huge. Ida, I swear to fucking God. The injuries need to stop. Immediately. Like, holy shit, you get injured all the damn time. Who plays outfield? Who do we got? Who's next up? It could be Kenley Hunter. I guess Hunter's as good as anybody else. This is rude, Ida. Very rude. Okay. So we need a new DH. Got it. I'm gonna let Swain rock at DH for now. Because Richie is as good as he is defensively, but is also a far better hitter. And then the second that Grady Emerson comes back, Swain is gone. And like Todd May can be the DH or something, or Brewer can DH, or somebody else can DH that isn't Isaiah Swain who can't hit. I don't mind May getting regular at bats at all, so I'm comfortable with that. That's fine with me. Yeah. Stanford Albert is no longer eligible. Jesus Macias. Stanford, there you are. You are pretty bad. Okay. I think it was McLean and then the other dude. You'll tell me, I'm sure. Oh, Macias and Dulahanty. Dulahanty is definitely somebody worth keeping. I'm going to promote him. Macias, not so much. um, Oh, Ellery, I don't know why the hell you're in rookie ball. You can very much go to high A with no issues from me. Jose Garcia is being released. And that's fine for right now. I don't know that I have any other... I guess you could promote Alexis Herrera to play in high A. Promote David Martinez. Promote Andy Sanchez. Sure. All reasonable takes. Oh, wow. Okay. I'm just gonna start at the bottom and just start releasing people and see how many people that takes care of. Still gotta go to 10 more? Jesus. Okay. Alright, if you don't have at least 40 potential, you're being cut. Because I can replace you pretty easily. I'll keep Gabriel Guerra, because he's not one of the guys that's ready to go yet. Jonas, Dykes, Mancera, and Delgado. Delgado's actually pretty good. Maybe. No, you're not. Mancera's not very good, and who's the other guy? There's a fourth guy I had to deal with. Ernest Dykes. Okay, fine. And you know what we're gonna do? We're just gonna start cramming people into A ball, even if they're not like super duper ready for it, because somebody's got to go there. Kyle Long can definitely go to A ball. Actually, I should be sorting about overall, shouldn't I? Because those are the guys that are most ready to be promoted. That works for now. I'm not gonna keep messing with it, I don't think. Yeah. Emerson coming back probably means that Swain leaves. My Packer with first round picks isn't that great, is it? He's just not very good. And he's considerably less valuable to me than Grady Emerson, who also plays amazing defense. So, does anybody want him? If not, I'll just sneak him through waivers. Enjoy some of my orange juice while I wait. Damn. Well, see you later, Swaney. I could bring Fontenot back to be the DH, actually. But I want Emerson on the roster. And I can always let like May DH for the short term. I think that's reasonable. That's a reasonable take. Like, the thing is, I don't need a ton of production on my DH. I just need them to be borderline competent. That's all that's required of them, as far as I'm concerned. Letting Emerson come in defense situations is what makes him so valuable to me. Plus, if anything happens to Tovar or Richie, he's the only guy I trust to play shortstop. All right. Let's continue forward until the end of April and see where we're at. We are getting beat up pretty regularly. I am concerned. I have a singular concern. We need Ida back, and we need him at full health, and then that transforms the lineup. That's what we're really looking for. Condon getting suspended is very stupid. I don't love it, but okay, fine. It's whatever. We're hanging in there, but we're hardly the team we were last year. We have enough at bats. I think we can start to break this down a little bit and see what might be going wrong. Bobby Rivera is getting better, which is pretty cool. Rodarte is getting better in some unspecified way. That's cool. Begin getting a little bit worse makes me sad. Having a dominating bullpen, I think, is really important for us to be successful. Okay. Fine. All right. We are not scoring runs. That actually shocks me. Yeah, we're not driving the ball, which is incredibly weird in Colorado, right? Like, that's the one thing we're supposed to be good at. Leon hitting second clearly needs to stop. Or maybe it's early into the season that I don't really trust any of these numbers right now. Pineda looks like he's done. I hope he's not, because I greatly value his skills. But he might just be cooked. And if that's the case, it's not that hard to get rid of him. Like, it's not that hard to replace him. Alvarez is struggling pretty badly. It's not totally hopeless. Like, he is doing some good things, but he's just getting his brain speed in. It's like the defense is the reason. I'm going to give him another month. I think we just give everything another month. Maybe Fermin hits second instead of Leon. Let's try that as one quick patch on things. I mean, we can move Todd May up. Todd May seemed like he's hitting pretty well. Do one of these. Okay, fine. Richie gets a pass because he's barely back. Look, Condon is closer to what we need him to do, but we still need more. Like, this is not the Condon we used to have. This is just an okay guy. We really need Ida back. Ida is going to fix a lot of this team's issues offensively. Canarella is doing the job at the top of the lineup, so I'm not going to get mad at him. I'd like more, obviously. I could always use some more, but I'm not that fussed by it. He's doing his job, which is getting on base, playing good defense, and stealing bases when appropriate. That's his job. Just keep doing that job. Milam looks really good, actually. His power is mysteriously a little bit weak, but kind of as a club, we're not hitting for as much power, so maybe we need to just wait for the weather to warm up, and we'll start cranking dongs like everybody's business. We're slowly climbing around in the National League West. We're not consistent yet. Getting Ida back definitely is crucial. Um, I want to keep Martinez. I do not need to keep Kenley Hunter. Strictly optional. May has performed well. There is some consideration for starting May over Martinez, who's a little bit less good. Martinez is also a really, really good outfielder. Like, really, really good. I mean, nobody is playing, like, Ida's playing over whoever. Like, that's not even a question, okay? Nobody should think that it is a question, that Ida is the man. Getting him back in the lineup is just going to make us a better franchise. It's just going to be that. I like Martinez over May solely because Martinez is a pretty good left fielder. Actually, if the only difference is defense, why would I keep Martinez? Because Martinez has more upside than May does. I mean, May, I guess, is better right now. So yeah, we'll keep May. And then we'll do other things as needed. Condon, May. Oh, Richie should be a lot higher than that, but I think for right now it's okay. If he bats a little bit lower against left-handed pitching because he's not as good against it, he's still pretty decent, but... Alright, Ida, I need you to unlock this team's hidden potential. 300 bombs for Charlie Condon, all of them in a Rockies uniform. That's pretty exciting. He's a good dude. Ida comes back. We score 3 runs in 2 days, but now we're starting to cook a little bit. Little bit. We're not like making a fancy dish, but we're like heating up hot dogs on the stove, you know? And there's nothing wrong with that. Who doesn't enjoy a good hot dog every now and again, am I right? But we're not making anything fancy. Javier Estrada is playing exceptionally well of late. Well, he's actually not playing that well, but it's the PCL. You can't really trust the stats too much because it's a very much a hitter's league. Very much so. Drew Romo is not doing well in Boston. I don't think that's a surprise. I think this gigantic contract is a surprise. Look, bro, if you retire with enough skill, you might be a Colorado Rockies Hall of Famer. I got you for strictly business reasons. You're my boy, and you're great. All right, so we're starting to see things settle out a little bit, which is very good news. The lineup still isn't where I'd want it to be, but it is getting better. And that's really, really good. Oh, I forgot to give Todd May a DH position. I think the game already figured it out, but whoops. Tovar is honestly having an offensive renaissance. I probably need to move him up the lineup a little bit. Probably swap Tovar and Richie, I think is reasonable. Let's do that real quick. Ida is what we needed. He's starting to finally heat up a little bit. Condon is doing well, just not amazing. He's still hitting home runs, but he's not hitting them as frequently, and that significantly reduces his value. Cannarella is struggling. He is struggling. Do I trust anyone else to be a leadoff hitter on this team, though? Not really. So I think we just keep him there for the present. Yeah, that's fine. I think Pineda is genuinely cooked. I think he's probably done. I think we need to do something about that, but I don't know what the answer to that question is. I don't know who would take over in that instance. Keller, probably. Man, that's going to be a bummer, though. It's going to be a real bummer. It could be Bobby Rivera, too. I have options that can probably approximate his current value without any issues. I think Ozuna is doing fine, but not great. So we definitely have some room to improve the rotation. I don't know where that improvement comes from for right now. Pineda. Does anybody want you? Is anybody like, holy shit, it's Deacon Danny? No. That's reasonable. That makes sense to me. So Zuna and Pineda are both gone at the end of the year. Zuna is going to be a free agent. He wants basically just to come back at his current salary. I don't want him back at this point. I've got enough medium to high starting pitchers in the high minors that I want to start giving them auditions. I want to figure out if I've got anything special there. Is fucking Kaisor hurt again? No. Where did John Kaisor go? He's still there. He's still hanging out. Okay. Cool. I think our greatest secret is we have another level to get to, and now that we have what we need, it might be pretty good. I'll do what you want, scouting director. Our draft pick is going to be terrible, so it doesn't really matter who we scout. It's all going to be about who we can get good value on. Is going to be what we're playing for here, because we're not going to get like franchise-changing players at that stage in the draft. Okay, Ortiz, Solis, Manuel, and Lugo. Promote them all. Welcome to short season ball. Manuel Gonzalez. Sorry, which league was that in? Was that in the other DSL league? Yeah. Oh, it's this guy. Must have just aged up. Okay. We've got some spots, but it might just actually end up being filled by other people. So for now, let's just kind of keep it going. Oh, Blackford, Zarate, and Yanez. Blackford, Yanez, Zarate. Zarate can just be cut. He just flat out sucks. Sorry, pal. We're getting beat up a bit by our own division, which isn't great. I definitely want to see more stuff happening. Alright. Our fucking coaching staff is humming. I'm fairly certain. We all love each other. Let's keep the band together. Adam, welcome back. Oh, and then I think every coach can have an extension that wants one. Trevor Burmeister is not that exceptional, so I think we can let him go if he doesn't want to stay. Deduno is really, really good. I wish he would agree to be a manager, because I think he'd be even better at that. Maybe we let Deduno go, actually. Well, Dallas get some retirements, and that'll help us get some new blood into the coaching staff. But for right now, we all get along. We're probably like playing cards or whatever after every game. D&D maybe. I have no feelings about this proposal other than you're a filthy major leaguer. How dare you? Vince Powers is pretty incredible. Evidently. He could probably use a promotion. I think with a big week like that, Mr. Powers, I think you've earned the right to play for at least high A. For sure. Welcome aboard. All right. The rise and fall of Javier Estrada. Like, I'm going to be a great starter. Ooh, not so fast. Danny Gonzalez, if he ever figures out how to hit, is going to be an amazing catcher. For sure. Rodarte keeps getting better and better. He's having an okay season in AAA. I wanna let him cook a little bit more though. Keep him in the pan, so to speak. All right. All right. So what are we looking at? We're still a middle of the pack team offensive, which actually surprises me quite a lot. Um, I think it's fair to say that Ida in particular, he is very good, but there's still more. We're not hitting home runs at the rate we usually hit them, which I find very surprising. Very, very surprising. Um, yeah, this is not a bad lineup by any stretch of the imagination, but we're not driving the ball as much as you'd think. I would argue this is a very deep lineup, which is something we haven't really had the. What's the word I'm looking for? We really haven't had the luxury of having a deep lineup in the past. We're from top to bottom, we're all fairly competent. Other than maybe Santiago Leon, but look, if the guy can play great defense, that's what he's here for, and he is playing very good defense at second base. Pineda is a problem. The bullpen is kind of sus, actually. Hmm. I mean, the thing is, I don't really have anybody here that screams, I need an opportunity. I think because these are all some guys who just need some room to grow, I think we just let them cook. But it is a concern. Like, Riddick is great. Begin is really good. But after that, the bullpen kind of drops off a bit. We could promote Johnny Anderson. That's definitely a route we could go. We could make him our seventh inning setup guy. Is anything actually wrong with Torres? He's actually pitching more effectively in a lot of ways, but he is getting hit harder. I'm hopeful that'll sort itself out. I don't think that's an unreasonable thing to ask, is that sorts itself out. Pineda is just done. Pineda is walking more, he's giving up more homers. He's striking out slightly more, but he's not worth what we're paying him for, so, yeah. I'm going to swap Ozuna and Pineda in the rotation. Let's go up to the All-Star game. Early predictions for the All-Star team. I think Will Levy is definitely making it, and possibly Tovar. And beyond that, I don't know. I don't know. Let me have a thunk about it, but I think those are the most likely two. Are Tovar and Levy. And then maybe somebody else, but probably those two would be it. We'll find out. All right. What do we got, guys? I know this is all just the AL. Is that the same Matt Olson? Holy shit, it is. 40 years old, and he's still making the All-Star team. Good for you, champ. Yep, Levy made it. John Begin made it. Tovar didn't. That is interesting to me. I guess it makes sense when Gunnar Henderson and Mason Witt have been so good. But that's... Also, how is Michael Harris II like the greatest baseball player in history all of a sudden? This is like redonkulous that he is this good. I don't really think that's fair, if you ask me. Why don't I have a guy like Michael Harris II? I guess I should have seen Begin because you just have those sexy save numbers, and you know how people like to judge relievers that way. Well, Libby's also starting the All-Star game, which is quite an honor. Got a lot of minor league All-Stars though, so that's good. We got 3 of them, and Yasukawa, Rodarte, and Danny Gonzalez, which is pretty cool. Haha, Michael Harris II, go fuck yourself. How did Levy's start go? 1 inning of scoreless baseball. That's fair. And Begin was also scoreless, although he did admittedly walk the first person he faced. But the good guys won. Fuck you, American League. Alright, let's get drafting. We honestly have a lot of talent in our minor leagues. Like, we are one of the better minor league systems already. We can basically take whatever we want, which I think is really cool. We're the second best minor league farm system with just lots and lots of great talent. Now this is a question of what we want to supplement the talent we've already got. And I think there's many answers to that question. Is Phil Harbor that great? Phil Harbor is really great. It is normally very difficult for me to justify a reliever with your first round pick, but I'm already picking at the back end of the first round anyway. And he has like one flaw, which is he walks the occasional person. I think he could be a tremendous asset. I think we go with our gut and we take Phil Harbor. Unorthodox, maybe, but I think it's going to be a great pick. Plus, the nickname is Kangaroo. How do you not love that? I know I love it. All right. Enrique Ruiz. Righty, some development risk. Great cutter. That's pretty cool. He's a really good all-around pitcher. I guess the reason we don't want him is because of the bonus demand. How much am I allowed to spend on the draft? I have $24 million. I can easily draft anybody I want. Like, seriously, let's get Enrique Ruiz. It's an Alex Rodriguez. I don't think it's that Alex Rodriguez, so. Alright. Now we want to try to grab ourselves a really good hitter. Ryan Walker. I think he wants too much money for the fact he's a fairly flawed player. Danny Evans is equally good and is way cheaper, so I think we take Danny here. Let's get a bit of thumping. I've literally never heard of that university before. It's the Azusa Public Pacific University. It's probably meant to like Arizona Pacific. Oh, it's in Azusa, California. Oh, there you go. I've never lived in California, so I guess it's understandable that I maybe don't remember these people. Chris Rowland is fine. I shouldn't totally ignore my scouting director. What's the deal with Ken McMartin? Why do we like him so much? I mean, I do like him quite a lot. Yeah, let's grab him. You convinced me. Mike Bush. No. First basemen that don't hit for power and don't play great defense just don't interest me. This is not a great player. I get where they're coming from. They're hoping that they get like 360 in the major leagues and everything else will fall into place. I don't think it's going to happen. I think he is a very deeply flawed prospect and somebody I'm not interested in pursuing. Cesar Paniagua, on the other hand, yes. Because he's so good defensively, he's got good speed, and he's got an accomplished offensive track record. Paniagua is 1,000% in. Happy to do it. That's somebody that I can see having a major impact on the club in a relatively short time. Yeah. All right. Troy McCormick has patiently waited to be selected. He's a good enough reliever that I think we just take him and we don't think about it. All right. We like Chris Peachnick. I don't dislike him. Yeah, I'm alright with this. Let's do it. Ah. I don't think so. I think he could be useful starting pitcher someday, but this number concerns me. And I just don't think he's going to be that good anytime soon. So I think we maybe pass on Mr. Mertz there. Brian Ott is just raw power, and I will always take that if it is available to me, in the hopes that we can channel it as something special. Let's go digging. Give me the best stuffed pitcher. The stuffed crust pitcher. No. Give me the pitcher with the most stuff in the draft, and let's see how useful they are to me. I don't want to take too many relievers, and I do want to get a couple starters in here. I really like Herb Mack. He just knows how to pitch. And well, yes, I understand that he's not the perfect fit for our club. I think with a few transformations, he could actually be really, really good. I think we go ahead and take Herb here. And let's also grab Fernando Valdez. Oh, since they call him the vacuum cleaner, maybe he sucks. Do you get it? I bet you get it. Let's get some hitters. I like everything about Edgar Flores except for the fact he's utterly useless in the field. He's utterly, utterly useless. Jesus Coronado is a nifty little second base option, and I think he's worth taking. I think we take him. All right. Ben Allen isn't actually that good. I will take Eric Griffin, actually. I do like a quality catcher, and he certainly fills the bill there. Any big thumpers left? Brad Shaw is a reasonably large thumper. I kind of think of grabbing David Hunt, though, because he is both a good defender and he's actually fairly well-rounded, and I think that interests me a great deal. There's, of course, Brian Hogaboom. Whenever you can take a guy with a tremendous name like Hagaboom, you have to do it. It's just required. Am I overdrafting him? Yes, but it's also the 14th round, so I don't care. His name is incredible. Alright, let me look for defensive potential. Yeah, are there any good shortstops left in the draft? There's a couple. Joaquin Nettles and Sean Wodarchuk. I like Mr. Wodarchuk here a bit more, so let's grab him. And I will go ahead and grab Jaquan here too, just because I like to try to... If nothing else, he can help the other people in my system get better at defense. Let's also grab Mr. Peach here. Alright, 3 rounds to go. Let's grab some more pitching. Who's got really good movement? Not among the hitters, you silly game. Joel Acevedo is a maybe. His control is obviously the fucking worst, but if we can fix that, let's do it. Justin Carey isn't terrible. Oh, Justin Carey thinks he's worth like $1 billion. Well, he's redonkulous, so that's not going to happen. Let's take Jason Colonoscopy here. And done. I categorically refuse to pay someone who's taken the 19th fucking round like he's some sort of genius player. Like, you want $9 million. I think you should consider fucking yourself. Because that's never gonna happen, bro. I don't know what kind of delusional shit you're smoking, but you need to stop it, man. Like, before you smoke a cigar, you're supposed to take the cellophane off of it, right? Because that's that kind of brain dead thinking. Your name is Brandon Sprout, so I have to decline. Sorry. I could definitely leave it. No, thank you. I don't want Richard Fitz. He's a loser. Seriously, stop trying to offer me, like, your shitty major leaguers and expecting that I will offer anything for them. They've all played in the major leagues, guys. You know my rules. Actually, did Ken Osomaka? He did. Omosako, my apologies, sir. People love them some Rockies, but unfortunately you're all making the wrong choices here. Like, I can't accept people with major league experience. So, yeah. Hey, good for Anderson Fermin. Very nice. How many people under the age of 30 are you offering? 0. No. 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 Like, I want to trade for prospects, but I have nothing that's really that valuable to trade. Because I'm not going to trade prospects for prospects. That's definitely not going to happen. If I had lifted my rules about acquiring people with major league experience, this would actually be a good season to try to grab ourselves a really solid bullpen guy, which is why I get these three options that are coming in. Like, in a vacuum, these are the kinds of players I should be looking for. But I'm not going to do it because I have my self-imposed rules, and that's it. That's how the cookie crumbles. I also don't really have any tradable assets. I could trade Sandy Ozuna, I suppose, but I don't think anyone's going to want him. And I kind of want to keep him for the stretch run. Like, I know he's not exceptional, but he is good enough, and I don't want to lose that. What I don't have, like, I have several highly regarded starting pitchers in my system. This is understood, but I don't know how good they actually are yet. And when you're getting close to playoff time, you almost always value what people that have already produced rather than what people might produce. So that's kind of what I'm feeling right now, is that I don't really want to hand over the ball to one of these guys in a clutch series unless I have to. If I was going to pick anybody, it would be Bobby Rivera. I think Rivera is probably the most polished of all my young starters. I think he'd be a great fit. Keller is fine, I suppose. He is pitching quite well in AAA here. I can ask about Ozuna. There might be somebody willing to give me a fairly good prospect for him. But I'm also perfectly content if Ozuna just leaves at the end of the year. Yeah. I will go to the next sim, but I'll be honest with you, you're not likely to give me anything that I want. Because it's all going to be people like, I don't want Jake Bennett. Jake Bennett has played in the major leagues. I don't think so. Yeah. Of all the reasons that I'm not going to be that sad if we end this series, it's this. It's the fact that every trade deadline is boring as shit because I can't add major league talent. And I don't have interesting enough prospects that I can, like, switch back and get a load of players, so we just politely but firmly decline your offers, and then that's it. Speaking of, by the way, it looks like I checked on our polls. It looks like people want to see more Vicky 3, which I am all about. But that was the winning vote in the poll. The poll's still open, by the way. I think. Oh no, maybe it's over. Yeah, it is over. Okay. Well, that's what we're going to be playing next. We're going to be playing some Vicky 3 again, which I'm really excited about. There's been several updates that have come out, and I just haven't touched the game since. So pretty jazzed. Darte is getting a little bit better, which is pretty great. Cool. Oh, you guys are both gonna go. That's whatever. So we're still struggling offensively, which is honestly quite the shock to me. This is not what I anticipated coming in with such a great lineup. I mean, Ia is in very bad shape. I'm wondering if all the injuries have taken a serious toll on him, or this is just... The problem is the people that aren't hitting home runs are people that should be hitting home runs. And so there's always this question of, are we just a little behind? Where we flip a switch and we're in great shape. I don't know the answer to that. I do know that Tovar has cooled off significantly, but is still fairly competent. We probably want to consider moving up like Colin Ritchie more. Maybe, maybe not. Willie Alvarez, you're my new fifth starter. Like, I have nothing. I'm getting nothing from Pineda. He is throwing innings, I guess, but he is most definitely gone. We brought him back with a pay cut, hoping that he maybe had one more year. He very clearly didn't. Yeah. When rosters expand, I very much think we call up another starter, And Pineda loses his role on the... That's unfortunate. Is it time for the debut of Danny Gonzalez? No, it's Fontenot. I'm not going to overthink this. We're going to take the guys already on the roster and make him the backup catcher. That's fine. I wouldn't do a little trickery and deceit here. Here we go. We are currently not even guaranteed the postseason. So we really want to hustle here in August, and especially in September. I really want to see us start to put a little bit of distance between us and the other wildcard teams. Also, the division is still very much winnable. I think if we ran into the Dodgers and had a great series, then that would be fantastic. Okay, this is actually very good. This gives me a chance to do what I wanted to do a little bit later on, which is Rivera, you dumb fucker. I guess it's Keller. Of all the times for Rivera to get hurt when I was very strongly considering keeping him is just wow. Danny Gonzalez is having himself quite a tasty little year. Nice. Fausti's going to be another 2 weeks. That's acceptable. Yeah, the fact we're playing so poorly in home runs just seems fucking weird to me, you guys. Like, it's the one thing we're going to be really, really good at. Is hitting home runs. And then Fontenot can return to AAA, and we'll bring Fausti back. Fausti isn't the best backup catcher, but he is a leader. And he is also very competent defensively, so I think he's a good partner for Milam. For sure. I think what I find so interesting about this particular team is that we are right there. Like, we have very, very talented players that are just a hair behind where they should be. They're just slightly off. And so that gives me some hope that they're reserving something for the postseason, maybe. Maybe that's their plan. Their plan is going to be just to freak the fuck out once the postseason starts. Which I am all for. I think that would be pretty tremendous if we could pull that off. Alright. Pablo Torres is actually declining at a pretty rapid pace. He's probably gone at the end of the year. Nothing else too crazy is happening. Okay. Fine. Who do we want to call up? How long is Rivera out for? He's Torres triceps. You dumb shit. I'd like to actually audition Nick Wagner. Give him a few innings down the stretch here as just a middle reliever. I wanted to carry 6 starters, but I think we actually just roll with the 5 that we've got for right now. Anyone offensively I'd like to call up? I mean, Yasukawa is very close to being ready for the major leagues. But I don't have a role for him right now. Actually, maybe I do. You're a really good player. You know what? I had not anticipated doing this at all this season, but I'm into it. Mr. Tovar, you're still a good shortstop, right? You're still a much better shortstop than he is. Message received. You're playing second base for the rest of the season. You've got enough talent right now, and definitely lots of talent in the future, that you are very, very good And I want to give you that opportunity, especially given how disappointing Leon has been this entire season. Like, Leon has actually been a real issue for us. I know that Leon is technically his. No, Leon is actually just not as good. Yeah. I'm sorry, my friend. I really appreciate what you've given us as the Colorado Rockies, but I think your tenure is done. Sorry, bro. Yasukawa is just that bloody good. And plus, maybe he can be like, yo, Ida, I looked up to you as a kid, fucking hit the baseball better. And he'll be like, holy shit, I can hit the baseball better. That's that's just what I imagine in my head. Sandy Ozuna would love to come back. I can't afford you. Well, I can afford you to split second and let Pineda go. So then I guess the question is, do I want Ozuna back? And I don't know the answer to that. Pineda, get out of here. You can pretend rehab, but you're not making the postseason roster. You're just not. Oh no! Anyway. We've clinched a playoff slot. We're definitely going to the postseason. It's Miguel Archuleta. Yeah, I kind of miss him a little bit, but not a whole lot. I still think Condon is the better fit for us, but... Alright, what are we playing for in this game? Does this game actually matter? It does matter. If we win the game, we get the second bye. And that is almost infinitely valuable to me. We also win the division, so yes, we need to win this game if we can manage it. And we didn't, which means we don't get the bye. That's... I really needed that to be a victory, but we fucked up. And it was Eric Riddick that screwed up. Well, it was actually Begin that screwed up. He's the one to give up 2 home runs. Alright, playoff roster. Pineda, you don't get to make it. I want Ozuna on the roster. I don't necessarily want him pitching, but I do... I trust Ozuna more than I trust Alvarez at this point. So we're going to go to a 3-man rotation. Now, the lineup is exactly the same, right? No, we lost Yasukawa. Can I not have Yasukawa? Is that not a legal move? I can't have him. Ew. That is really stinky. Do we let Alex Rodarte make his Major League debut? Because I really don't want to play Leon. So fuck it. Oh, the postseason roster is full. I think we just give Leon his job back, actually, factually. It's not my favorite move at all, but if I can't keep Yasukawa, I guess it's got to be Leon to play second. I could have Grady Emerson play second, but I think this is fine. Levy is toast. Let's see where we are on that Monday, and then I can let you know who's going to start that game. Neil Clark retired. We wish you well, Neil. I hope you're doing good. I think it's just Santa Cruz and Ozuna, which isn't what I would have expected, but I think it's probably fine. Probably. Alright. Let's see how this goes. Closing my eyes. Damn it. And we're done. Oh my god, guys. What a fucking disappointing season. Honestly, the Cardinals fucked us royally. If you'll remember, they're also the ones who beat us the last game of the season. Also, what is this bullshit? We're the worst offense in the National League, but then we instantly face you guys and we just destroy you. That really, really sucked. Losing those 3 games to St. Louis, just utterly devastating. And I can't even get that mad about it. Like, we were not clutch this year. We had tons and tons of players that were just not what they should have been. As a team, we decided this would be a great year to slump. And I know, okay, 92 wins is still pretty damn good. But it's clearly not good enough. And there's clearly still work to be done. And what I find the most frustrating is that there's no easy fix to this. Like, all we can do each season is get into the postseason. And if we win, we win. And if we don't, we don't. But this performance was disgusting. Like, those last 3 games were the worst time to choke. You cost me a first-round bye, and then proceeded to just totally shit the bed. And that really sucked. That was a terrible ending to the season, and we had to make some important decisions here. Sukun Lee is sticking around. Good for him, I guess. Alright. Canarola, do we keep him around? I think we do. I know it's not... What he gives us is too valuable to instantly get rid of it, so we're going to execute his option. Charlie Condon had a significantly better season. He's maybe not 100% all the way back, and maybe this is just his new normal. Very much he gets to say. Very much, Pineda, get the fuck out of here. We're now below average in fan loyalty. That's fun, I suppose. Alright. How did the season actually go? Like, what went well, what didn't go well? What can we do better? I thought Ezekiel Tovar was possibly cooked, but he's actually put together 3 very solid seasons. It's also the point where he's a little bit underpaid, because he is consistently providing 3 or 4 wins of value, and that's pretty great monetary value for that. If Tovar plays the end of his contract and plays fairly well, Cooperstown could be calling. Probably not, but maybe. Charlie Condon, we already talked about. Anderson, for me, has really settled into his role as a leadoff guy, as a good defender, as somebody who can play center field in a pinch. He reminds me of Garrett Kozic in the White Sox series, of course, where his ratings don't look like they're that great, but he's making the most out of them. The important thing is not to fall in love with a player like this, because he's the kind of guy, because he doesn't have that athletic ability, if he slips, he's going to fall hard. Cannarella, he hasn't worked out the way that I hoped he would. He is a very good center fielder. He's very competent in his craft. But he's not the leadoff guy I'd hoped we were getting, so hopefully that gets better. Bryant Milam started again. He continues to be very useful. I mean, I want more out of him than this. But, you know, I can take this. This is not an unreasonable catcher. Richie did not contribute at a high level. This is by far the biggest thing that hurt us this year. Ida absolutely sucking in almost any way you see fit really hurt the club. I gotta see something like 2033 again. I'm spending a fuck ton of money on you, and right now you're not earning it. Ted May was okay. Robbie Brewer's first experience in the major leagues, maybe not so good. Maybe he goes back to AAA, gets a bit more experience. How did the pitching go? Will Levy was sensational again. Really, really good. Santa Cruz was also very good. Like, we have a genuine gruesome twosome up here at the top of the rotation. Willie Alvarez for a rookie was actually really productive. He's definitely got himself a rotation spot next year. Riddick and Begin were good. Riddick was actually better. Although it looks like maybe Begin got some bad luck with defense. Fernando Romero sucked in every conceivable way. Sergio Zuna was fine. And then the less said about Manuel Pineda's final season, the better. I see nothing that tells you this team can't go back to the postseason next year. But finishing second from the bottom in home runs for the Colorado Rockies is just so fucking weird. It's really bizarre. And I'm hopeful that, you know, a few people are going to pick up the pace next year. It's hard to call this lineup bad when it finished literally third in runs scored, but to finish without hitting that many home runs is just kind of crazy to me. Yasukawa is 100% my second baseman next year. And I think that's going to be a real shot in the arm. Todd May, you did good work, but I think if Rodarte is where we'd like him to be, I think he's got every chance to possibly win the DH role at some point. So there is young help coming. We're going to start at least one additional starting pitcher. I'd love it to be Bobby Rivera if he's healthy. Who knows? Excuse me. But there is room for growth. There is room to be optimistic about the future. But that doesn't change the fact that when we really needed great players to play great, they fucking sucked. Those last 3 games against the Cardinals, the final game of the regular season plus the 2 in the postseason, were some of the worst games we played all year. That can't happen again. We can't choke at that point. We shouldn't choke at all. I don't mind if we get off to a slow start. That doesn't bother me very much. What bothers me is when the lights are the brightest, when the pressure is on. We folded this year. And hopefully next year will be different. But for now, my friends, this has been Abgardian. Thank you for watching, and I bid you good day.